Hey there, tech explorers. Welcome back to Learn AI with me. I'm your host, Manoj, and today we're diving into one of the most fascinating topics in artificial intelligence, machine learning. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered how Netflix knows exactly what show you'll binge next? Or how your phone's camera can recognize your face in a selfie? That's not magic. It's machine learning. I remember the first time I realized how powerful machine learning is. I was trying to organize thousands of photos on my phone, and I dreaded the hours it would take. Then, boom! My photo app automatically sorted them by faces, places, and even activities. I was amazed. That's when I realized machine learning isn't just some fancy tech term. It's making our lives easier in ways we don't even notice. Today, we're going to break it all down. We'll explore what machine learning is, how it works, and take a trip through its fascinating history and evolution. By the end of this episode, you'll have a solid understanding of the foundations of machine learning. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's get started. What is machine learning? All right, let's start with the basics. What exactly is machine learning? Imagine teaching a child to recognize animals. You don't give them a rule book saying, if it has whiskers, pointed ears, and says meow, it's a cat. Instead, you show them lots of pictures of different animals, and they learn to recognize patterns. Machine learning works the same way. Instead of programming computers with strict rules, we feed them data, lots of data, and they learn to recognize patterns on their own. It's like giving computers the ability to learn from experience, just like we do. Here's a fun example. Netflix doesn't have a team of people writing rules like, if someone watches 3 romantic comedies, recommend another rom-com. Instead, their machine learning systems analyze what millions of people watch and learn patterns about what different types of viewers enjoy. That's why your Netflix recommendations feel so personalized. So in simple terms, machine learning is about teaching computers to learn from data and make predictions or decisions without being explicitly programmed. Think of it as having 3 key ingredients. 1. Data, the examples we feed to the computer. 2. Patterns, what the computer discovers in the data. 3. Predictions, using those patterns to make decisions about new situations. It's like teaching a computer to be a really good guesser based on past experiences. How does machine learning work? Now that we know what machine learning is, let's take a closer look at how it actually works. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple and fun. Step 1. Data collection. First, we need to gather lots of examples. Let's say we're teaching a computer to recognize cats in photos. We'd need thousands of pictures of both cats and non-cats. This is like giving our computer student its study materials. Step 2. Training. This is where the magic happens. The computer starts looking for patterns in all those examples. It might notice things like, cats usually have pointy ears, they have whiskers, they have certain body shapes. But here's what's cool. The computer might also notice patterns that we humans never thought about. It's like having a super observant student who picks up on details we might miss. Step 3. Testing. Remember those pop quizzes in school? We do the same thing with our machine learning model. We show it new pictures it's never seen before and see how well it can identify cats. If it makes mistakes, we can help it learn from those errors. Step 4. Making predictions. Once our model passes its tests, it's ready to work in the real world. Show it a new photo, and it can tell you whether there's a cat in it or not. Here's a personal story. I recently used a machine learning app to identify plants in my garden. I showed it a leaf I didn't recognize, and in seconds, it told me it was a tomato plant that had sprouted from my compost. The app had learned from millions of plant photos to make that identification possible. Pretty cool, right? History and evolution of machine learning. Now that we know how machine learning works, let's take a step back and look at how it all began. Machine learning has a fascinating history, full of breakthroughs and innovations. 1950s, the birth of AI. It all started with Alan Turing, the father of artificial intelligence. In 1950, he published a paper called Computing Machinery and Intelligence, where he asked, can machines think? This was the first time anyone seriously considered the idea of teaching machines to learn like humans. 1980s. Neural networks make a comeback. Neural networks, which are inspired by the way the human brain works, were first introduced in the 1950s, but didn't gain much traction until the 1980s. researchers realized that these networks could help machines recognize patterns in data, like identifying handwritten numbers. 1990s, the rise of big data. In the 1990s, the internet exploded, and suddenly, we had access to massive amounts of data. This was a game changer for machine learning because more data meant better models. Example: in 1997, IBM's Deep Blue made history by defeating world chess champion Garry Kasparov. This was one of the first major successes of machine learning in action. 2010. The Deep Learning Revolution. The 2010s were all about deep learning, a type of machine learning that uses large neural networks to process data. This is what powers tools like voice assistants, image recognition, and even self-driving cars. Example: in 2016, Google's AlphaGo defeated the world champion in the game of Go, a feat many thought was impossible for a machine. 2020's current trends. Today, machine learning is everywhere, from personalized recommendations to medical diagnostics. We're also seeing exciting innovations like AutoML, making machine learning accessible to non-experts. Multimodal AI, combining text, images, and audio to create richer experiences. Machine learning has come a long way, and it's only getting better. It's amazing to think about how far we've come in just a few decades. So, there you have it, the foundations of machine learning. We've covered what it is, how it works, and its fascinating history and evolution. But this is just the beginning. In Part 2, we'll dive into how machine learning is transforming industries, the challenges it faces, and the exciting innovations shaping its future. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until then, keep dreaming, keep learning, and stay curious. This is Manoj, signing off.